All right, 4 down, 2 to go. For today's video, we're going to continue our look at the Transformers Legacy United Hasbro Pulse Con Exclusive Dinoforce box set. We took a look at Doryu, we took a look at Kukuryu, we took a look at Gairyu, we took a look at Rairyu, and for today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Doryu. Without further ado, I've talked enough about these guys as a whole. Just take the rest of these guys and put them off to the side here, and just take a look at Doryu, who of course is a repaint of the core class Snarl from the Dino, like Volcanicus combiner. Yeah, he is unfortunately, I think, the one that like really screams that character's identity the most, just because like not, just looking like a normal like Stegosaurus, he really looks like Snarl specifically. Like he's got, the kind of like weird wide proportions, the stumpy little tail, the very cartoon accurate head sculpt there. So he again is one of those ones that really looks kind of nothing like his original alt mode, especially since, because he was a pretender shell, the original alt mode was green, and he is white and blue, which is more accurate to the inner robot, which is, going to be making the combined mode more accurate. But as a result, he really looks not a whole lot like his original alt mode at all. But yeah, he's an okay little figure. I'd say that like out of the 6 of them, just objectively, he's probably the most solid, just like as a toy, either him or the swoop mold, just because he's one of the 2 that actually has elbows in robot mode. But yeah, in terms of his little alt mode here, there's really no articulation. I mean, you can kind of bend the knees, I guess, of the Stegosaurus mode, but like they're supposed to be bent up like this, which awkwardly just have the robot mode hands just kind of hanging off the back. These are just molded in place. He does come with these 2 weapons. He does come with this sword, which was actually the original sword that came with the original core class Snarl mold. And in terms of storage for that, you can just tab it onto the underside of the belly here, which is nice and clean storage. And then he also comes with this big part, which has this hinge on it, which is part of the combined mode of like giant weapon. And for storage for this, you're supposed to just tab it onto the back there like that and call it a day, which I think looks very silly. I mean, you can at least bend this bit up like that, which still looks pretty silly. You could also, I guess, like tab it this way, so at least this is facing forward, like some kind of battle spike, but then he's got this kind of hanging out the way. It just looks kind of dumb no matter what. I really wish that there was a tab on this side, so at least it could kind of like cling to his alt mode. Like I feel like if it could store like that would be like a lot cleaner, or like that. But alas, it's a little awkward. But to help differentiate him from Snarl, I do feel like it is kind of helpful, just because it looks big and ridiculous, since the first thing you notice about the figure, rather than noticing that it just is a white and blue Snarl. But whatever. In terms of comparisons in this mode, just for a standard one, here he is with Kingdom Sideswipe. For a standard core class, here he is with Kingdom Vertebrake. Here he is with Studio Series 86 Snarl, so you can see what he looks like there. Obviously looking very similar to Snarl there, unfortunately, aside from the colors, but what can you do? And yeah, to get onto transformation here, first thing you want to do, obviously, is just take off the weapon. Now, he does kind of parts form with this back panel, but it's really more for alt mode. You can just leave it here for like the transformation to robot mode. Basically, you just want to untab this section, then separate the legs so that you can take the halves of the head here, and they'll fold to the inside of the legs, and then you can straighten out the legs there. Take his arms here, they'll untab from the side of the body and just rotate down at the elbows, and then take the tail and just separate it and rotate it back to the side, and then flip around his robot mode head. And there we have Doryu in his robot mode. And yeah, no, he looks pretty good. I like that little transformation. I like the nice gold faceplate there. With the tail sticking out to the side, I do feel like he looks rather Snarl-like, unfortunately. But, there's kind of no getting around that with the way that they decided to do these guys. But yeah, in terms of articulation, the head is on a swivel there, shoulders shoulders are on ball joints, which can rotate around. Also for transformation to combine mode, he does also have like a forward butterfly joint. He's got hinged elbows that fold up all the way. Hallelujah. That's, I think, the thing that makes this guy the best kind of, you know, robot mode in terms of functionality is the fact that he has elbows. Like, was that challenging? I don't think so, but he's got a waist swivel. He's got ball joints at the hips that can go forward and back and out to the side. He's got a hinged knee, which can fold up all the way, and then the feet are just kind of sculpted at that slight A stance. So yeah, he's a pretty decent little articulated figure, like especially for a core class. Like, I like the way that this guy turned out. He does really kind of make a better, just like pocket-sized Snarl than he does make a Doryu, but you know, I can live with it. And then in terms of his weapons here, obviously you can have him hold his sword, which just makes him look even more like Snarl. And then for this weapon, I mean, it's kind of silly because it's like a big long thing, but he does hold it at the very end of it, which is kind of a cool looking scythe weapon, thankfully, but it is still a little bit silly looking. Now, in terms of storage, he does have a tab on the back here that you can use for one of the two of the weapons, not really both of them. If you want to store both of them, what you kind of can do is use this one and tab this one onto the back, and then just take the sword and just plug it into the top here, which the tab kind of gets in the way of. So, oh, actually, you know what you can do with the sword is you can kind of loosen this bit up and then slide the sword in his back panel here, because this bit is supposed to come off for combine mode. So there you go. You can have decent-ish, I guess, storage for both the weapons. This is still a little bit ridiculous, but at least it has somewhere to go. But yeah, I don't know. Personally, I just have him hold this because it is kind of a fun weapon, even though the area at which he's holding it is pretty stupid. At least he, you know, can hold it there, and it looks kind of cool if you don't think about it too hard. But yeah, in terms of comparisons in this mode, here he is again with Sideswipe and with Vertebrae, just for those standard size comparisons there. Here he is with HasLab Deathsaurus, just so you can see, just like with all the other ones, size is a little bit ridiculous there, but that's what the two of them look like together. And then last but not least, here he is with the other ones that we've taken a look at so far, so you can see what the team is looking like. And yeah, just one to go. And then for the next video of that, just in time for, I almost said Valentine's Day, just in time for, not going that long, just in time for Halloween, we'll take a look at Dino King. But yeah, no, pretty good looking team overall. Again, I have my individual gripes with these figures, and he's not my favorite, but I do think that he's probably the best overall figure of the lot of them, just because he looks decent in both modes, has a neat little transformation, and has elbows. But you know, if he's not my favorite, is he really the best? I don't know. I just feel like he's the most functional of all of them, either him or the swoop mold. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to him. If you enjoy my videos, make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. I do reviews every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And without further ado, here we have Transformers Legacy United Hasbro Pulse Exclusive Doryu.